Hi, Juliana.
Hi, Gavin. Wait a second. I'm switching on my camera. Where do I do
Okay.
that? Oh, here. Can you see me?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. No bumps or bruises or broken ribs.
No, I don't think so.
No, because you only got back from Turkey. Was it yesterday
Yeah,
morning?
I just came back from Turkey last night.
Mm.
And yes, I had some headaches after the fight,
Oh,
indeed.
okay.
No, but it's just very fresh, so I didn't even unpack my suitcase yet.
Nice. Well, thanks for coming on. We'll get to Turkey in a minute, but I wondered if we could just start by talking about you and your background, because you were going to send over a bit of information about who you are to me a few days ago, and I was just so impressed by like the number of countries that you've lived in.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't sometimes I forget about it because well, actually it doesn't matter where I live. I really like to travel, to be abroad.
Mm.
But I can be home in different countries, cities, everywhere, depending on the people around. So yeah, I lived in a lot of countries when I was young, in France, in Ireland, in Asia a lot.
So you're a child of the world.
Somehow.
Yeah. So do you speak, I mean, obviously you speak very good English and German. Do you speak other languages as well?
I speak Korean. I can not really speak, but I can sing in Chinese.
Okay.
No, but I can understand a little bit. I lived in Shanghai for 2 years, but you don't really need it in work life. You only need it in private life.
Okay. So in business, everyone speaks English. Is that the thing?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. And I understand when you were younger, you were brought up in Ireland. Is that right? Or you certainly played chess in Ireland?
I did 1 year of studies in Ireland,
Okay.
and during that time, that was the last time actually I actively played chess before I started again with chess boxing. No, but that was the last time I played in the um, Armstrong League at that time in Ireland.
Okay. And what level were you playing then, roughly? Did you have an elo at that
Um, Well, I don't know what was the real last one, but I was above 1700 at that time. But this number is not active anymore, so I have to figure out what it is right now. I feel much worse than
point?
that today.
And you've also had some combat sport experience as well, haven't you? Do you want to talk us through that?
Yeah, actually in Ireland I started to do combat sports. I started with Taekwondo.
Hmm.
And then I added kickboxing, so I continued both sports during my studies, and then, well, I made it even to the national team in both sports, and yeah, did that quite a long time. I I think my last tournament was in 2008.
Okay.
Yeah, in 2008, and yeah, so I
And then,
had a
and then
lot
how
of.
did you come across chess boxing? How did you get involved? I'm always interested to know because people seem to find chess boxing from all kinds of different routes.
Yeah, actually, the funny thing is, I did together with my combat mates at the time when I was doing kickboxing. I had a boxing trainer from Russia, and we came up with the idea of doing chess and boxing in our club, and that
Hmm.
was about 2004. So we didn't know about the official sport yet.
Really? So you
Yeah,
kind of did it in
and
parallel?
yeah, so we just invented our rules. We just did
Okay.
a few chess rounds and a few boxing rounds.
So why on earth
Uh
did you decide to do that? That's quite incredible that you did it in parallel with Iepe.
yeah, because I think we talked about it all, that it's really amazing to have this, you know, mental sport and to have this boxing sport combined. That's what we thought. I don't know how we came up with it. I think it was a Christmas party or something like that when we came up with it. And then we tried it out. And only in 2020, I heard about the official sport, chess boxing. And it was somehow, I never met Iepe. It was somehow his death that I came across about the chess boxing, because it was in the news and I read about it, and I thought, wow, I didn't know that the sport exists. So somehow, even though I don't know Iepe, I feel like he dragged me into that. So yeah.
And on your first chess boxing bout, you did a tribute to Iepe, didn't you? I've seen some footage of that.
Yes. I really felt that he opened up the world to me, and I met the family in Berlin, I have to say. I call it really chess boxing family right now. It's really they became very close in very short time, because you have so much in common, and it's really amazing because it's different from normal combat sports. It's different from normal chess. You get, with the people, you get really close very soon.
And have you been, because I know you've trained with the Berlin guys and Josef and everything that's happening there. Have you trained much with Lawrence Trent, who was on the podcast a couple of weeks ago? Do you know Lawrence at all?
Yes, we met in the club actually, but I'm not that often in Berlin, and I trained a few Fridays in Berlin, and that's when I met Lawrence also. But we never fought each other in the ring yet.
He's a few kilos heavier than you, I suspect.
Yeah. But sometimes for training reasons you do it, but we didn't.
Okay. So you're based in Munich, is that right? Yeah. And then you travel to Berlin to train, and then presumably you've got a gym in Munich as well that you use, have you?
Excuse me?
So you have a gym in Munich that you use as well?
Well, actually, I was desperately looking for some chess boxing club, but there is nothing in Munich at the moment. So I'm doing kickboxing, boxing in a club, yes, and I'm playing chess by myself. So when I want to train this combination of physical sports and mental sports, I'm using I'm using a punching bag, and then in between I try to play chess online. That's all I can do so far. So I have to combine it in Munich by myself. I have to train by myself. That's why it's really amazing to go to Berlin and to have people who are doing the same.
Into it, yeah. But you have got quite a bit of experience now, haven't you? So my understanding is you fought. Did you fight in Berlin, and then you fought out in Italy as well?
Yes, in Berlin, I met Alina the first time. And actually that was very funny, because I was desperately looking for a club, and then I gave up and I said, well, I called the Berlin guys and asked them if it's possible from time to time to go there to learn a little, to train a little bit with them. And then I called Joseph, and Joseph told me, well, do you have time in 2 weeks? In 2 weeks? Oh, well, yes. Okay. Then you can do a show fight with Alina. So that's how I came to chess boxing. It was my very, very first event. And Alina and me, we did a show fight, because we're not in the same weight class, but we did a show fight, and it was really fun.
And then I went out to Italy to watch you and obviously Richard, one of our fighters, in what was one of my favorite chess boxing events. Just the setting was incredible, wasn't it? What was it like fighting in the open air in Italy?
That was amazing. I mean, this Italian atmosphere outside, it's a piazza, it's a plaza where so many people just go for dinner, for some drinks, and then it happens to be this huge chess boxing, or this ring in the middle of the piazza, and it was really an amazing atmosphere. Italians cheering, so it was. I don't know. I didn't expect it, but it was really great to walk and to warm up in the castle and then to walk into this piazza, and then on the ring with some music, and it was really great.
And also the weather as well. Like you can't really tell from the photographs and the video, but for me as a British person, you know, the weather is always something that we're moaning about the whole time. And the whole time we were there, I think it rained once, but it was just beautifully like balmy, kind of 22 degrees, not too hot. And yeah, as you say, the history of that town is it Winnebago? Like it is just, you know, it's just like walking through through the history of the country. Like it was just so incredible. And Wolfgang did such a good job of making us feel welcome. Yeah, I mean, I really hope he's able to put on another show like that again. I'll definitely go out.
Yeah, I really, really hope so. Yeah, too. It was really great.
And the food and the wine, it was just amazing. Yeah, everything.
Exactly. So I even had some Italian friends from Milano coming over, and yeah, I think, and also I have a friend whose son now tries to do chess boxing after watching that and hearing about this.
Oh, there you go. So let's talk about the World Championships, because I've been watching your Instagram. I've been seeing a few bits and pieces coming across that. How did it go? Did you have one fight or two fights?
I had one fight because I got a lucky draw at the beginning. So it was 3 women in our class, and I was set for the finals. So nice. That was luck. On the other hand, I really would have loved to fight more, because they told me up front that I will get 2 fights. And unfortunately, it was only one.
It's a lot, though, isn't it? 2 fights, even in a weekend. But especially if you pick up an injury, it must be, difficult to get out, to come out the other side without an injury.
True. That's true. On the other hand, there are so rare occasions to do chess boxing that you really desperately want to fight whenever you have the occasion. So yes, it was about a short week, about 3-4 days of fightings. So it would have been possible to have 1-2 fights in that week, and some even fought 3 times. So wow. Quite exhausting for them. Yeah.
And how did your fight go?
It was awful. I didn't do anything what I prepared. I was really very disappointed about myself, because I was not on the point. I was not focused. I was not there really as I wanted to be, because it was really, really difficult for me to get fit to the point during the last weeks. It was really difficult for me. And that's why I was so, I really wanted to win.
So it sounds to me like it was the boxing element that you struggle with, if it's a fitness issue.
No, it was the head.
Yeah.
It's always, I think it's always the mind.
Keeping yourself calm.
Yeah. So we had a lot of distraction up front, because time schedules and everything was announced very short notice, and there were changes. But then I prepared an opening, and the very first move I did intuitively. So I made the wrong move.
Oh no!
And I was totally.
You're playing white. Are you playing white?
Yes. Yeah. So I started, and I didn't do what I planned to do. So it was already, I think in that moment, I lost. And it's all about your mind and your spirit.
You know what? I've seen that happen before. I don't know if you know one of our fighters, John the Brick Wood.
Yeah.
And he's a great guy. He's very light. He's of a certain age, but technically he's a good boxer. And we really wanted him to be able to hold his own in the chest. The chest side is the bit that he struggled with. And we planned and mapped the training with him, planned this whole opening. I think he was going to do like the hippo or something like defensive. Yeah. And then within the first 2 moves, he just come completely off script. And you ask him about it, he's like, he doesn't know why. Like it just overwhelmed him, like the whole experience and being out there in the crowd and everything. And it's devastating, but it happens a lot, it's
but I was really, I don't understand why, because I'm really used to occasions like this, to events like this. I'm not nervous about the crowd. I'm not nervous about this whole event. It was really, I don't know what happened there. And I was not bad in chess. I mean, I think it was equal at the time when we started the boxing round, but I was really expecting much more from myself. So that was the disappointing part of it.
I think there's 2 things there, though, isn't it? making that error is obviously something to do with your preparation, how you prepared mentally, but also it's dealing with a mistake like that, because if you then just decide, well, everything's lost, that's never going to result in a win, is it? So it's kind of, if something throws you off, is then how you deal with that and how you move forward after that. And I interviewed Burke Rudd last week, and the podcasts all come out before this one. But he has we were discussing like his coaching stuff, and he has a mental health coach, somebody who like works on his psychology and how to prepare for events. And obviously he's an Olympic athlete, and you don't really get like top sportsmen these days. It doesn't really matter what you're doing. Like that mental preparation is really important. I've been talking to your opponent, Marie, about how she's going to prepare for the event. Have you had any thoughts about that? Because obviously you guys are headlining, so you'll be on last, and it's how you're going to manage that time when you're waiting to go on, because that's going to be quite important.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I would have loved to see the other fights, and it can be very distracting up front. So I normally prefer to concentrate until my fight. So I will not normally watch other fights. But in that occasion, because it's a long evening, I think we have quite some time, I might watch the first ones.
Yeah. So what we offer people fighters, if they're fighting later on, they can leave the venue if they want to, read a book, have some food or whatever, and just kind of try and declutter their mind a bit, and then come back. Because I've fought. Yeah, the first time I fought, I just sat in the venue for like 5 hours.
Wow.
I was there early, and I was just sitting there, just stewing, just thinking about what I was going to do. And by the time you get to the actual fight, all your nervous energy is just like drains your body. So it's, I mean, I know you've got obviously some experience now, so you've probably got your own techniques of how to manage it. But it's something that definitely needs to be considered. So what about the rest of the? Because obviously the World Championships are out in Turkey. I saw some photographs of you guys on the beach. Like it wasn't all. It wasn't. It sounds like you had a great time outside of your bout.
I mean, that was really, really great because the weather was cool. So I had to look for my summer clothes to pack. It was really great. We had a great time at the beach. So for the last sparring sessions, we went to the beach, did some chess on the sand, and we're running in the sea. So yes, you had some time off. Nevertheless, because you want to mingle and want to see the people, you don't avoid them. So you go to the crowds and you make friends with so many people. So it's a certain stress level you have during a tournament, because there's so many people around. There is so many interesting stories behind the people, and you want to meet them. You want to get to know them. So yeah, it was a nice venue, really beautiful, more a holiday environment. But the tournament itself, it was really tight.
So when you fought, were you on early in the trip, so you got a chance to relax, or were you on at the end of the trip?
It was at the end, because it was the finals, and all the finals were on the second last day. Cool. And that's why you couldn't really fully relax. You would always prepare for that big fight. It
was really good. I mean, I wasn't able to attend, but it was really good to see everyone get together after the pandemic, and obviously after Iepe's passing. And I think I don't know, last time there was World Championships, you talked several years ago, aren't you? So it was great to see it all coming together, and it feels like the sport's getting back on its feet, which is great.
Yeah, I think it's really, you can feel that the sports are still somehow in its childhood, so it's still growing, but it's so important about the people coming together. I think it made a huge step forward again, because after the pandemic times, you lose connection, you lose focus maybe on certain topics. And I think 2019 was the last championships. So it was really good to meet, although the preparation, I think, for the Turkish association was really short. So it was very difficult to organize such a huge event. And for the next time, hopefully it will be easier and more, probably more participants and everything.
Yeah, a bit more of a lead in. It makes it easier, doesn't it, to plan these kind of things. But yeah, great, well done to the guys in Turkey for organizing that. I know how much work it must be. I mean, it must be huge amounts of work. So it's very much appreciated. But let's talk a little bit about our show. We're really excited to have you in London in December. I know you to be very bubbly, friendly person, really good on social media. Like I can see that you're a bit of a character, and I think you'll, I think once our audience gets to know you a little bit better, I think, you'll very much endear yourself to the London crowd, which is a very fun crowd. Have you got anything planned? Because you've got a fantastic surname, which leads itself to a good ring name. What is your ring name?
So my ring name is Ass Baroness.
Yeah.
Baroness comes from my last name, of course. But the kick-ass thing is about, I did kickboxing. And when I'm boxing, I like boxing a lot, but I really miss some kicking in between. At the beginning, it was difficult to keep my legs down, while fighting. So yeah, Kick-Ass Baroness, that's something. I kick my ass as well.
Okay. Yeah,
to train
I guess
hard.
It's the muscle memory, isn't it? It's hard to turn it off. But and your fighting, it's actually a bit of a theme, really. I don't know what it would be, like, I don't know, feudal theme, because your opponent is called Killer Queen Marie. So we've got the Baroness and the Queen fighting each other. Do you know much about your opponent?
Not yet. I'm really keen to meet her. I think to meet like soulmates, it's always soulmates if you have this crazy sport in common.
Well, that's the problem we have, is that every time people fight each other, they just fall in love with each other and they become best friends. And then you're like, they don't want to fight again, but quite often, because it's such a bonding experience.
Yes, I don't know, because one thing is the sports, and I really like to do it properly. But it's important that there is the ring and you give everything you have. But there is also the importance to be friends and to share what you have in common. So that is something also during the World Championships now. I mean, at the beginning, if you don't know each other, you might not talk before the fight, just to keep the tension up. But afterwards, you know that you will come along very well, because among the sports people, it's really it's something special if you share this love for chess boxing.
Absolutely. And have you got anything planned for your ring entrance? Is this something, or is this a secret?
Shall I reveal it, actually?
Yeah, come on.
It's a big surprise. No, I really want to enter like a baroness.
Okay.
I'm not sure yet whether I will bring in some more of my hobbies into that, but
we'll have a chat about that offline maybe. But I'm very excited about some of your proposals. But perhaps we shouldn't. If you're not 100% sure exactly what you're doing, let's perhaps keep it on the back burner for now. But yeah, I mean, we're so excited to have a female bout. I mean, you were just saying how difficult it is for you to get chess boxing, and it's so hard for us to match people. We've actually got Gida who's coming over from Lithuania as a reserve. I don't know if you know that. And we've got another reserve, Maya, as well. So it'll be a chance for them to kind of experience London and the setup and how it all works. And I hope that, in the future, they'll, assuming that, they don't have to step in this time, that they'll get in the ring as well. So we're definitely gathering a bit of momentum in terms of getting women into the sport. And of course, you, Marie, are going to be a big part of that. So have you given any thoughts to any tactics or things that you might try and deploy? I know you've obviously had your head filled with the Turkish event, but I wondered if you were thinking about how you might approach your fight with Marie.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's very important to find this balance, what I didn't show during the Turkey championships. But so it's very important. Last year and the last few months, I had to struggle a lot to get my body fit again. So I had to, come back from a body which I didn't have under control to now really doing sports again. So that is something which is the major focus. And the second thing about then to have this mentally in balance. And of course, I really want to show good techniques. I love the sport because of also, I mean, especially women and lower weights of men. It's just beautiful to see different techniques and to really adjust within the fight to the opponent. And you only have this flexibility if you train different styles, if you train also different combinations and don't stick to one and only major technique. So that is something I really want to practice a lot. So to show the beauty of the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we get a lot of varied abilities, both in chess and boxing, but we've been lucky enough to have some really high quality boxing bouts, and there is something quite or inspiring when you see somebody who's so competent, especially if you do it yourself, because you realize how hard it is to get to that point where it's all you need to be able to do it without thinking, which means that everything's got to be programmed into your muscle memory. And it's not just about being skillful, it's the amount of time as well that it takes to get to that point where you're just doing things without having to kind of consider, the movement of your body. It's very impressive, I think.
Yeah. And I really want to be, to switch on my brain during the fight. Because, I mean, I've seen now in Turkey, I've seen how I fight when I don't have my brain switched on. Somehow kind of survival mode, but I didn't survive. So I really want to switch on my brain, really knowing what I'm doing and really reacting on the situation in the fight.
Sure.
That's what I will prepare.
And is there anything else you'd like to say on the podcast? Any messages for your opponent or some of your, the guys back in Berlin or the guys you met in Turkey? Any comments or messages?
I don't know. I really hope to see all of them soon again, and I really hope that a lot of them will watch the event. I'm also looking forward that I will see some of the people I met first time in Turkey now in London. That will be great, and I hope a lot will cheer for me, although I'm the foreigner coming from abroad. Yeah.
That's great. And I know you're active on social media. Where can people find you if they want to send you a message of support?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Insta. I'm not so much on Twitter. I have an account there, but I'm not active there. Instagram and Facebook. So looking for Ass Baroness, you'll find me.
Okay, great. So if you want to watch Juliana fight Marie, the show is on the 10th of December. We are sold out. I don't know if you know that, Juliana. We're sold out. We're packed to the rafters. It's going to be an incredible atmosphere. But don't worry, you can watch it all online if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/chessboxing. And we've got, I'm not quite ready to announce it yet, but we've got our usual commentators. And we've got a couple of guest commentators from the chess world, which everybody will know, high quality commentators. So that's exciting. And we've got Olympic gold medalists fighting as well. So if you want to see that fight, I mean, why wouldn't you? Make sure you tune in 7 o'clock on the 10th of December. So thanks very much for fighting, Juliana. I'm really looking forward to seeing both you and Marie in the ring. I think you're very well matched. And thanks again for coming on the podcast. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in London next month.
Yeah, thank you. Looking forward to see you. Bye. I met Carl.
Yeah, how was Carl?
He is crazy. No, it was really great to meet him. And he offered me to be in my corner, actually.
That's great.
I don't know what you intend to do with him. Does he have to comment?
He is on the guest list, but it would be good if you could get in touch with me because you know what he's like. He changes his contact details so much. I've got a phone number for him, but it's like months out of date. But if he could contact me or you could pass on his details, I can put him down as your corner man. That's fine. Yeah, he's got the experience. I think it would be helpful if he's able to spend a bit of time with you on the chest as well. Obviously, that's his real strong point. But Carl's, perfect. I mean, I've got no problem with that at all.
Yeah.
If you do see him, tell him he can bring my belt back as well. He still got my belt from when he fought in London. I should not have let him take it because he needs to defend it, really. But anyway, yeah, if you see him, just tell him that. He won't bring it back, I know that, but you might as well ask.